So, a cop with road rage is being charged with murder after killing a person in a Chick-fil-A drive-thru. The person that got murdered tried to leave, and the cop threatened to kill him if he tried leaving. He claimed he was acting in self-defense, which was obviously a lie, according to all the witnesses.
Former Summerville police officer Anthony DeLustro makes his first appearance in court after being charged with murder. SLED says DeLustro was off duty when he shot and killed 39-year-old Michael O'Neill. The murder charges mean he'll eventually go to trial where he could face 30 years to a life sentence. Claire Weber
If he doesn't get a life sentence, then there is no true justice.
joins us now with late-breaking developments we've learned from SLED's affidavit. Claire?
Tessa, after 3 weeks of an ongoing investigation, talking to eyewitnesses and collecting video evidence, SLED's lengthy affidavit states DeLustro did not act out of self-defense. Records show O'Neill couldn't have reasonably been seen as a threat since he was unarmed and tried to leave the altercation multiple times.
Being unarmed doesn't mean, oh, to cops that you're a threat or not. They don't care if you are unarmed or not. They're going to consider you a threat because that's one of their biggest excuses used to kill people.
I just ask you for mercy so I can help my wife with the girls while we go through this.
You should have thought about that before you murdered a person.
Now facing murder charges, former Summerville police officer Anthony DeLustro is asking for forgiveness. New details from the altercation that took place in a Chick-fil-A parking lot in March show DeLustro was the primary aggressor and killed O'Neill with malice aforethought. We're now learning O'Neill tried to leave before the altercation escalated, but eyewitnesses say they heard DeLustro threaten to shoot O'Neill if he did.
Every officer is trained in the use of deadly force to be used on only very limited circumstances. And the standards for meeting the use of deadly force are clearly not met in this case. And yet we do have the use of deadly force.
The affidavit reveals DeLustro broke free from a bystander, grabbed his gun, and entered O'Neill's car through the passenger door. O'Neill was heard saying he wanted to leave and shouted for DeLustro to get out of his car. As O'Neill began to drive away, DeLustro fired one single shot. The Berkeley County Coroner's Office.
Yeah, that is definitely not self-defense. He breaks free of being held down by passerbys and jumps into the car and shoots him. And and we're supposed to believe that cops are good people when they're doing stuff like this.
Office confirms the bullet traveled from O'Neill's right arm to his chest, killing him.
My entire life was public service. I never did anything wrong. I never had one substantiated complaint in the 35 years I've been in law enforcement.
Since
Who cares if you've never had a single complaint in the 35 years you've been a cop? You murdered a person.
DeLustro faces a murder charge, bond won't be set until he goes before a circuit court judge. Former South Carolina Attorney General Charlie Condon speculates it could take many months before the case goes to trial.
But I would think that the state of South Carolina may offer a plea to what's called voluntary manslaughter. And if not, we go to trial for the much more serious crime of murder. And we'll have to see how that unfolds.
Anthony DeLustro will appear in court on June 14th, then again on October 25th. That's when DeLustro could make a plea. His trial date hasn't been set. Claire Weber, News.
Hopefully, this guy does get life in prison because he did maliciously murder a person and